The President of the United States is the most protected person in the world. In fact, there are 7,000 people hired to protect him. This is a special law enforcement agency known as the United States Secret Service. Now, clues in the name, these guys are pretty secretive, but some of their amazing tactics have been disclosed by former agents. And you can see why all of these things make it impossible to get anywhere near the president. I'm Charlie, and today we're going to look at Secret Service tactics that will blow your mind. Before we get into it, why not subscribe and press the notification bell? Ink Library. Did you know the Secret Service have a way of tracking you down? And they do it using something that's probably on your desk right now. The White House receives lots of troubling letters every day, but the Secret Service have a way of working out who sent these letters. The Secret Service work in tandem with ink manufacturers. According to a Secret Service agent named Ronald Kessler, the Secret Service has the largest database of ink in the world. Their database has very distinctive tags on the ink. This means they can narrow down the brand and where the ink was sold. It's actually the same way explosive manufacturers identify material. The White House gets a lot of threatening or nasty letters. And a lot of the time, these are linked back to whoever wrote them, even if they didn't put their name on the letter. When the person who wrote the note is finally identified, they will be thoroughly investigated by the Secret Service. Protective intelligence. So what if a letter is traced back to you? Or maybe a message on social media? For example, if you say you wish you could take out the president, what would happen? Well, as soon as you're identified, protective intelligence kicks in. This is something the Secret Service do, which is pretty mind-blowing. No matter whether a threat seems serious or a joke, you are investigated. But you probably won't know it. Anyone who makes a threat to the president is investigated thoroughly. Their friends and employees are all databased. They may even interview your friends, employees, and neighbors too. This is known as protective intelligence. They're basically gathering information about you in case something happens. Then, when the investigation is done, they'll choose what route to take. If they deem you to not be serious, then they may simply warn you in person. Or if they do think you're serious, they may get you evaluated by a psychiatrist. And for some people who they deem to be dangerous, they may actually get you convicted of a Class E felony. Cat agents. These guys have nothing to do with furry pets. They're so secretive, most people don't know they exist. But there's actually a level above Secret Service agent, and that is a cat agent. They're basically the most highly trained and elite of the Secret Service. CAT actually stands for Counter Assault Team. That's because they are a specialized tactical unit on the front line to protect the president. They also go by the name Hawkeye. Unlike normal Secret Service who wear suits, they wear black battle dress uniforms. They also have an SR-16 and a P229 pistol. They're also equipped with flashbang grenades. The process to become a CAT agent is incredibly difficult. They have to endure a whole week of pre-training. Then only the best people in that graduate to a 6-week training camp. This is intensive and very stressful. They need to be able to run 1.5 miles in 9 minutes. They also have to have great aim, and they need to be strong enough to wear a 45-pound vest for 12 hours. But you can't just be a tough guy to become a CAT agent. You also need to have incredible intelligence. You need to have quick and intuitive thinking. That's because you may need to de-arm a dangerous person, or even deal with a hostage situation. Most of the applicants actually drop out during these stress tests. This is basically a simulation of what they may have to put up with in the field. Their job is to actually engage in combat if the president comes under fire. Fake hand. In 2017, the world watched Trump's presidential inauguration. As per tradition, he walked down Pennsylvania Avenue to the White House. But many people were actually not looking at Trump and instead at his Secret Service agent. There was a bold bodyguard behind Melania, and eagle-eyed viewers realized he held his hand in the same position for the 2.5-mile walk. This led to many believing that his arm may have been fake. Instead, it could have been a prosthetic. People speculated that his finger was poised to pull a trigger, which may have been under his coat. One analyst online said this may have been an SBR or an SMG. He looked very stern and was nearest to the first family. This means he was probably one of the more senior Secret Service agents. SYSTEMA training. SYSTEMA is a martial art from Russia, but every single American Secret Service agent needs to learn it. SYSTEMA means the system, and it was first made popular by the KGB in the Soviet Union. When compared to other martial arts, SYSTEMA has far less rules. It's incredibly brutal and really can damage someone. It involves controlling your opponent's arms and legs. It's mainly used to defend, but it can also be used to attack. The Secret Service are trained to use SYSTEMA on multiple people at the same time, and they're also trained to remain calm under incredible pressure both physically and mentally. Now, the goal of SYSTEMA is simply to disarm people and make sure they're not a danger, but it can also easily be used to take someone's life. MOTORCADE. The President's MOTORCADE is an amazing logistical feat. It costs around $2,800 per minute to run, and it's usually comprised of 40 to 50 vehicles. This includes the President's Beast armored limo. There's also a spare limo which is an exact copy as a decoy. The Secret Service also drive an electronic surveillance car. This blocks any IEDs. There are then 3 security cars. There's a hazardous materials car in case of any chemical or nuclear hazards, there is an ID car for communication and counter-surveillance, and then at least 2 more Secret Service cars carrying agents. The Beast has night vision cameras to film what's going on 24/7. It's also bullet and blast proof. There are also built-in shotguns and tear gas cannons as well. Water rescue. The US President travels a lot. That's why the Secret Service must be able to protect him on land, in the skies, and on water. Even when a president retires, the Secret Service still protect them for the rest of their life. And if a president ever goes anywhere near water, then a special water rescue detail are activated. These Secret Service agents are highly trained in swimming and diving. They can also operate pretty much any water vehicle. They can hold their breath underwater for many minutes. And they're often near the president with an armored boat anywhere he goes on water. Assassin interviews. Of course, the Secret Service's main job is to stop any assassins. They can learn a lot about assassins from the history books, but there's no one better to ask about assassins than a real-life assassin. That's why the Secret Service interview many assassins. According to a Secret Service agent Tim Wood, many of these assassins are interviewed every single month. These are usually assassins who have been jailed for their crimes. They may offer them a perk in exchange for information. Assassins may disclose to the Secret Service tips they use. This allows the Secret Service to counteract any other assassins using those same tips. They started this practice after President Reagan was nearly assassinated. This happened in 1981, and the near miss also caused cat agents to come into existence. Food surveillance. If you meet the president and hand him some food, he will likely never eat it.
Crust first.
That's because any piece of food the president eats has to be prepared under the eye of the Secret Service. Even the White House chefs are monitored 24/7. That's because they don't want anyone sneaking poison into the president's food. When the president travels, Navy stewards actually come along to prepare food. Also, when a president has a photo op at a restaurant, he likely will not eat the food. Obama was actually famous for ordering food during photo ops and then not eating it. But you may be saying, what about all of the fast food the current president seems to eat? Well, that is actually possible. Someone will simply order the food to the Naval Observatory or another address. Because the restaurant does not know who it's for, this reduces the danger. Advanced team. You may think that with all the protection the president has, he could go anywhere safely. But that's not the case. Anywhere the president goes, the Secret Service has to get there hours in advance. This is known as an advanced team. This is a special unit of the Secret Service that goes to any location the president's about to go to. They will then scout out the entire area. If it's a road, then they'll check any rooftops for snipers. Even if it's something as innocent as a school, that is thoroughly checked by the advanced team. They will check every single classroom and even the bathroom stalls too. One school that was visited even had all of their cupboards checked. They will also go to any nearby hospitals to obtain information about recently released mental patients. Then if they spot them, they can keep an extra eye out to make sure they're not going to harm the president. Hotels also cannot stand the Secret Service. That's because they will take over the entire hotel and check every room. They also do a background check on every single hotel worker. Any workers with a criminal background are asked to not go into work on the days the president will be in the hotel. They will actually book out the entire floor for the president, and they'll also book out the entire floor below and above. They will also take over the elevator system. That's right, when the president stays at a hotel, no other guest can use the elevator. There's even a Secret Service elevator repairman. This is so that the president never has to get stuck in an elevator. You would not want to be in a confined space if you're in danger. Weapon scanning. We all know that Secret Service agents wear those dark sunglasses. You may think this is to make them look cool or scary, but it isn't. It's actually so that you can't see where their eyes are looking. Secret Service agents are constantly scanning for anyone with their hands in their pockets. They also look for people who are standing stiffly or wearing baggy clothing. That is because they could be concealing a weapon. They will also be scanning any of the recently released mental patients in the area. They need to have a great eye for faces and make sure they can recognize anyone who could be a danger. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment below which was the most amazing Secret Service tactic. If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. But as always, thanks for watching. There are some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.